acceleration. I mean, it is savage. This is a Ferrari F12, and it is absolutely stunning. It is quite windy today, but have this car out for the day, and would you just look at it. Now, maybe take away the kind of weird carbon piece on the side. Everything else looks fabulous. This one is finished with Brixton forged wheels, a Novatec rear wing, and the best part, Armytrix exhaust. Of course, front engine, 6.3 liter naturally aspirated V12. One of the last of its kind, really. So let's go ahead and take it out for a drive. Starting off manual mode, just race mode right off the bat. 7-speed dual clutch transmission, incredibly quick. Oh, those downshifts are crisp. 6.3 liter naturally aspirated V12, 740 brake horsepower, just a colossal amount of power to deal with. 0 to 60 in 3.1 seconds, 0 to 125 in 8.5 seconds. Those are big numbers. This car weighs 3,500 pounds, so it's not super light, but it's not really super heavy either. It's just sort of right in the middle, which is what you would expect. And compared to the 599, this feels much more nimble, and it kind of envelopes around you. The steering is just, for a front engine car, this is absurd. Oh my God, dialed in, just on rails. Ooh, hit the wheel spin in third. Huge rev counter, revs to about 8,500 RPM. And again, this is a V12, a naturally aspirated V12 at that, which is quite a rarity these days, unfortunately. People miss that noise. Oh. It's just ferocious acceleration. I mean, it is savage. You gotta hold on. No, because it is naturally aspirated, it is a very linear power band, very predictable, so you sort of know what to expect. It is still one of the most brutal linear power bands I've ever experienced. It is predictable, but it's not, it's still scary. Like, you get on it and it is kind of frightening. This is one of those cars where you're just kind of nerve-wracking to really get on it because it has so much power, and the steering is so quick that any little mistake can be catastrophic. And it feels different than your 458, 488, which feels a little bit more balanced, I suppose. Not that this is an unbalanced car, but it's just the way it puts the power down is just different. With that said, the way it handles in the corners is nuts. I mean, just immediate turn in, just the slightest movement with the wheel, the nose just darts in, and it feels mid-engine, which is incredible because the F12 obviously has a rear trunk, and it's actually a pretty decent size. But I think the beauty of the F12 is that it offers front engine practicality mixed with some mid-engine performance. It's sort of front mid-engine. I mean, the engine's pretty far back. It is pretty amazing the package you're getting here with the F12. It's a car you can use every day. Like, truly, you could drive this every day. Put it in automatic mode, sport mode, calm everything down, turn off if you have this exhaust, you can turn off the valves. But when you wanna absolutely spank a road, you can. There is actually a nice size shelf back here as well for even more storage. top speed is 211 miles an hour. Front engine Ferraris are sort of the gentleman's Ferraris. They just have a different vibe to them. And the F12 is a very classy car. I mean, just so planted. Now, I actually wouldn't say it's as confidence-inspiring maybe as like the mid-engine cars. There's, like I said, a slight sense of you might lose it here, but it's kind of fun, I guess. Massive quad exhaust pipes that just don't need to be that big. Like, it's just completely unnecessarily big. That's part of what makes a supercar, is that it's just that outlandish. From the 599 to the F12, and I love the 599. I always loved it growing up, and I think it's a great car, but it just, let's be real here. The difference is substantial. Double clutch gearbox that has the old single clutch gearbox, and it's just way quicker, way smoother. This car doesn't feel quite as big. As I said, the packaging is quite small. It kind of envelopes around you. And it has 120 more horsepower than the 599, which is just insane. I mean, it's just truly insane. Talk about the interior for a sec while we're sort of going at civilized speeds. Very spacious in here, incredibly roomy. These are the carbon race seats, which, you know, they're on the, of course, the harder side, but you do get a cup holder. I think overall it's a very nice, attractive layout. This one does not have the passenger display, which would be nice. Now, styling-wise, this is one of the most beautiful Ferraris, let's just say modern Ferraris ever made. I mean, you know, you could argue, of course, of all time, but in terms of modern cars go, the F12 is absolutely gorgeous. And compared to the 812, which, you know, overall I guess is a better car. I mean, it's got more power, sort of unnecessarily though. I think the F12 is better looking than the 812. Just from the overall shaping standpoint, the front, the rear end, everything about the F12 is absolutely stunning. And I'd probably rather have one because of that. Because the 812, I did a review on that about a year ago. It's incredibly quick, obviously, it's even faster than this, but you don't need that. 740 horsepower is enough. I've never been in this thinking, you know what, I need more power. I need to go faster. I need to shit myself even more. I need the shit to escape my pants. I need it to go in the car. 812 kind of approaches those kind of situations, those levels of, holy shit, this is insane. The view out is clear. Blind spots really are actually not bad at all. Not as bad as the mid-engine cars. Yeah, I think the Novatec rear wing looks amazing. I love seeing it in the rearview mirror. I mean, just the slightest amount of throttle, you're already going at insane speeds. From a financial standpoint, I mean, I think the F12, I mean, it's no secret that the naturally aspirated cars are doing quite well. I think in the future will continue to do well as more companies move to hybrid powertrains, smaller displacement engines, you know, V6s, things like that, turbocharging. But the F12 is a different, I don't want to say it's not focused, because I mean, in the corners it's an animal. It's insane. A tad more of a laid-back experience, but you can just still thrash this on a track and it would be amazing. Carbon ceramic brakes. Okay, buddy. Yeah, this ain't gonna work. Yep, you're hitting the brakes. You're going 20. You don't have to hit the brakes. You're going into a corner. People don't understand that if you have a normal car, your car can handle going around a corner. Like, you don't have to brake for doing 30. Like, you can just, it's fine. Yeah, you don't have to brake. The F12 has always been one of my favorite Ferraris, just because they're also not as common. I don't want to say the 458, 488 is like a mainstream thing. You do kind of tend to see those more often at car shows and just events. Driving around, you don't really ever see the front engine cars, which that's what kind of makes them a little more special, I feel like. Just that much more of like an occasion. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel down below, and I will see you guys in the next one.